Hello students, I hope you all are fine and I welcome you to my YouTube channel. I hope that you are watching my videos and learning the concepts of UV visible spectroscopy. Since we have completed the types of bands, types of transitions as well as the concept of chromophore and oxochrome, it is the time to study the types of solvent and effect of solvent on the peak position and intensity of different chromophoric groups. So we will start today with effect of solvent in UV visible spectroscopy. Generally, the solvents that are transparent in the region under investigation are used. Solvents that are transparent in that particular region are used. So, for example, ethanol around 95% pure is used as a solvent because it is cheap as well as it is transparent below 210 nanometer. However, there are certain other solvents like hexane, methyl alcohol, acetonitrile, that are transparent above 210 nanometer and therefore used in UV visible spectroscopy. But if you want to ask me that which is the most commonly used, then the answer is hexane. Hexane is the most commonly used solvent. Why? Because it is non-polar. Because non-polar solvents do not have any effect. Further, since it is not very reactive, it does not react with the sample under investigation. There is a problem with ethanol is that commercial grade ethanol contains benzene, which is strongly absorbs in that particular region where ethanol is transparent. Therefore, if you want to use it, it should be free of benzene, it should not contain benzene. But hexane is the best option as a solvent for UV visible spectroscopy. Now, coming to the effect of solvents in UV visible spectroscopy. For non-polar compounds, for the analysis of non-polar compounds, first of all, keep this thing in mind that polarity of the solvent has a strong influence on peak position as well as the intensity. But if the sample under investigation is non-polar, then in that case, changing the solvent polarity, making the solvent from non-polar to a polar solvent, there will be no appreciable effect on the peak position. So, in case of non-polar solvent, there will be no effect of changing solvent polarity. And non-polar compounds, for example, dienes. So, if you are studying the UV visible spectroscopy of dienes, and if we change the solvent from hexane to water or hexane to alcohol, then there will be no appreciable effect on the UV visible lambda max. Clear? Because the sample under investigation is non-polar. So there will be no effect whether we are using or we are taking the solvent polar or a non-polar. Even hexane is there, same bands will be observed, and when it is replaced with alcohol, same types of bands and same position will be observed. If the sample under investigation is polar, for example, if it contains CO double bond chromophoric group, then because of the polarity, this sample containing carbon groups are polar. Now, if a polar sample is under investigation, then solvent polarity has a strong influence on the absorption maximum, or you can say lambda maximum. For polar compound, like compound having C double bond O group, changing solvent polarity has a significant effect on lambda max, or you can say on peak position. And as you already know that in case of C double bond, we have two types of transition possible. One is known as N to pi star transition, the other type is known as pi to pi star transition. So first we will discuss about N to pi star. N to pi star transition. For an N to pi star transition, upon changing the polarity or upon increasing the polarity, the transition occur at shorter wavelength or higher energy. Increasing solvent polarity causes lambda max, that is the absorption maximum, to occur at shorter wavelength or higher energy. Now, why? What is the reason behind this effect, that upon changing solvent polarity, N pi star transition undergoes a hypsochromic shift, because it is going towards the left side, the blue side. Why it is observing, it is experiencing a hypsochromic shift? The reason is that in case of N to pi star transition, the excited state is the state where the electrons are reached after promotion, after transition. The excited state is less polar than ground state. And when we increase the solvent polarity due to hydrogen bonding, the transition of electron from a more polar ground state to a less polar excited state would be difficult, and it requires higher amount of energy to promote that electron, to cause transition to occur. And therefore, since it requires higher energy, it occurs at shorter wavelength, or a hypsochromic shift is being observed. So I hope you got the point that excited state is less polar as compared to ground state. Therefore, while increasing the polarity of solvent, for example, first we are recording the UV visible spectrum in hexane. Now we have changed it to alcohol, so we have increased the polarity. Now the excited state is less polar than ground state, and therefore promotion or transition of electron from more polar ground state to less polar excited state is difficult, and it needs large amount of energy. Since large amount of energy is required, it occurs at shorter wavelength. A hypsochromic shift is, or hypsochromic effect is being observed in this particular case. Now, the other type of transition in case of carbonyl compounds is your pi to pi star transition. So part B is your pi to pi star transition. In case of pi to pi star transition, upon changing the solvent polarity, upon increasing the solvent polarity, the transition occurs at longer wavelength or lower energy. Right now, upon increasing solvent polarity, the transition occurs at longer wavelength or lower energy. Why? In this particular case, because of the dipole-dipole interaction of solvent as well as the polar group, the excited state energy got lowered, while the energy of ground state is also lowered. But the extent of lowering of energy of excited state is little bit higher. For example, we have excited state here and ground state here in a polar compound. Now when we change the polarity because of dipole-dipole interaction, both these levels goes down. But the extent of degrees is higher in excited state, and therefore the overall distance between, the overall energy difference between ground state and excited state is lowered. Since the energy difference is lowered, transition now occur at lower energy, or you can say at longer wavelength. So when we change the polarity, now ground state will also go down. It will be somewhere like here, while excited state will come here. Now if you check this distance, delta E, and this distance is delta E prime. If you compare, delta E is greater than delta E prime, and since the energy gap is lower in this new case, when solvent polarity has been increased, because of lower gap of energy, this transition occur at lower energy, or it occurs at longer wavelength. Therefore, a bathochromic shift is observed. Bathochromic shift is observed. So the third type of transition that is being affected by the polarity of the solvent is your N2 sigma star transition. Since N2 sigma star transition is highly dependent upon the hydrogen bonding, it is highly dependent upon, or you can say it is highly sensitive to hydrogen bonding. Upon increasing the solvent polarity, the promotion of electron becomes difficult due to hydrogen bonding, and since the promotion becomes difficult, it requires higher amount of energy, to promote that electron, and therefore the transition occur at shorter wavelength. In general, we can say that if the group is more polar in excited state, if the excited state is more polar than ground state, if the excited state of the group is more polar than ground state, then upon increasing solvent polarity, the transition occurs easily, and therefore it occurs at lower energy and longer wavelength. Lower energy and longer wavelength. Since excited state is more polar, so upon increasing polarity, electron will easily reach to the more polar excited state, and therefore since electron reaches to the excited state easily, the promotion becomes easy and it occurs at lower energy and longer wavelength. On the other hand, if the group is having ground state more polar than excited state, if the ground state is more polar than excited state, then in that case, if we change the solvent from hexane to alcohol, if we increase the polarity of the solvent, then it will be difficult for electrons to move from more polar ground state to less polar excited state. And therefore, since the promotion or transition is difficult, we have to provide extra energy from outside. And therefore, in such a case, the transition occurs at higher energy and shorter wavelength. Here you can say that shorter wavelength means hypsochromic shift. Hypsochromic. this case we have bathochromic shift. Clear? Further, in summary, we can say that upon increasing solvent polarity, N to sigma star and N to pi star transition occur at higher energy and shorter wavelength. At high energy, high E and short wavelength. On the other hand, the pi to pi star transition upon changing polarity occur at low energy and longer wavelength. So this is the summary, that upon increasing the solvent polarity, our N to sigma star transition and N to pi star transition, that means the transition involving the non-bonding electron, will move to high energy and short wavelength, while the pi to pi star transition that involves pi electron will occur at low energy but longer wavelength. Bathochromic shift here and exochromic shift. So this is about this effect of solvent polarity on the peak position of ultraviolet and visible spectrum.